Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, Series 6, Episode 10. I forgot to mention that bit. The Girl Who Waited. And apologies in advance, I still have an itchy nose. It's the same day recording as Night Terrors, so a very itchy nose. I'm trying to record here. Anyway, so The Girl Who Waited. The plot sees the Doctor, Amy, and Rory arrive on the planet Apalapachia. Yes, I got it right! First time. Where the Doctor and Rory head into a room after pressing the green waterfall button. However, Amy has stayed behind to get her phone in order to take pictures. Although, mind you, I would not mind updating Twitter whilst on this planet, so providing I've got some pictures about being on this planet. You never know, you could have Amy with her camera doing a selfie, saying, having a great time on Apalapachia, and posting it onto Twitter, and everyone who follows her would be like, what the heck is she? Where is she? What's she doing? Unless they've been following her for a while, in which case they'll know, oh, she's the time and space traveler. Ooh, gotta see what she's posting. That would be incredibly funny. Oh, that was a very good joke. Anyway, so Amy presses the red waterfall button and goes into the same room, but in a different time stream. And it turns out that the red waterfall time stream moves a lot faster than the green anchor one. So Amy is, for starters, she's trapped in the room for about a week, and the Doctor and Rory have an encounter with this robot known as the Handbot, which sees through its hand. Not sure why they didn't give it eyes. Even the Doctor asks that. I suppose it's a creative monster design, I guess. But anyway, Amy is trapped in the red waterfall time stream due to a plague going around the around Apalapachia. Usually, it's the most beautiful planet in the universe, but now, the second most beautiful after the second most popular planet to visit in the universe after the planet of the coffee shops. That again, another very funny joke. Tom McRae's returning from series 2 to write this episode, and he does a very great script, by the way. So yeah, Amy's trapped in this time stream, and the Doctor can't go in because this plague. It feels a bit ironic talking about such a pandemic on this planet here during a time where my planet has a pandemic. Our planet, I should say. As I am pretty sure everyone watching this are human. Then again, you never know. So yeah, so there's apparently a pandemic on the on Apalachia. And it's a disease, a plague that only kills two creatures with two hearts, like Apalachians and Time Lords. But it kills you within a day, so you only have a day to live. And the visiting thing is being able to watch that person live out 24 hours, which is supposedly a kind way of seeing someone die, as opposed to being by their bed for hours on end. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Amy goes to experience the facility whilst the Doctor and Rory attempts to break in and rescue her. And Rory has to go in with some glasses with cameras so the Doctor can see where he's see what's going on, and the microphone is probably built in as well. So Rory has to go into Amy's time stream to try and rescue her. However, they arrive 36 years late. Whoopsies! Yep. The Doctor's got the timing wrong, and now we meet an Amy. Brilliant makeup and prosthetics on Carrigan's face, and she does a great job being an older Amy. And she's now also more. Well, younger Amy would, of course, be a bit more happy and excited, and not happy and excited. I should want to say she's a bit more hopeful and a bit more. There's wonder in her, but now 36 years of being trapped, she's kind of jaded, I suppose, and cross. And now she hates the Doctor, and she's missing Rory. So after 36 years, Amy is a very different person now, and initially refuses to help the Doctor and Rory attempt to rescue older Amy, but eventually after a younger Amy, I should say. But after a talk between the two Amys, she initially helps on the condition she comes to. The Doctor, of course, has to lie about saying that they could take the two of them together, but naturally he knows it's physically impossible for them both to be here. And the reason older Amy initially does not want to help is that her time as she is would be completely erased. Um, but initially, the Doctor does trick them into believing that they could take both Amy's, and they synchronize the two time streams before the handbots then come after them. I'm not exactly sure why they've all starting to come after the three of them all at once right now. Maybe it's because Rory's done some stuff with the wires and the time streams have synced in, or maybe they've been building up an army to try and take down older Amy, and now's the time to strike or something. In any case, the handbots attempt to stop them from try to stop them. Rory and younger Amy manage to get to the TARDIS, but the Doctor makes sure older Amy remains on the planet. And she and Rory have to make the choice on what to do. Eventually, the older Amy convinces Rory to make sure she stays there, otherwise she will break through the TARDIS doors, and Rory has to force himself to not let the older Amy in. This is a very dramatic scene for the two characters, and it brings their characters' emotions to a high point, and this is showing how much care and love for each other they have, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to describe it, but it definitely shows Amy and Rory's relationship at peak level of what they want to do, what very hard decision would you have to make. And Rory is put on the spot in this episode. He really is put on the spot. And to be honest, you could even argue the Doctor's the villain of the story, or at least in the second half or towards the end with the decision. But it's it's quite nasty to see Rory put on the spot. But it's a great scene between him and the older Amy as he's forced to make sure she doesn't come in, and Arthur Darvill and Karen Gillan, this is possibly their best. This is their best performances to date, and also Matt Smith once again is absolutely fantastic. But I think this is Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill's best performances in the series so far, and it might even be their best performances overall. So this one's a very roller coaster ride episode. Got some great moments with younger Amy on the planet. Some great moments with older Amy and Rory. There's a funny bit where there's a disarmed handbot who's been reprogrammed by older Amy, who is called Rory, and she's drawn a face on him, and that's a haircut that Rory, when he was younger, had one time returning to school after a summer, and said that he'd been in a rock band and then had to play the guitar, or learn to play the guitar. There's some great character stuff between the two companions in this episode, and works absolutely brilliantly. Some brilliant stuff throughout the episode. Some great location stuff and some great sets. You could tell this episode was a bit more of a budget-saving episode. There's a couple of white rooms like the gallery and stuff, and a couple of simple sci-fi warehouse or a boiler room, which do get some pretty good uses. And then there's some nice looking stuff like the garden, part of which could have been filmed on location, perhaps. But yeah, it still looks really good for a story that looks like it's on a lower budget than some of the other episodes in this series. Obviously, it's one of the budget-saving episodes in terms of sets and locations. It works really well. Also with casting and characters. There's really only the main characters. This reception lady, played by an American actress whose name escapes me, and the voice interface voiced by Imelda Staunton. Plus the guy who voices the handbots, who although he gets uncredited. But yeah, there's some really great stuff here. Some great direction by, I believe it's Nick Curran who's directing this episode, and Nick Curran is also going to be directing the next episode, I believe. I could be wrong about that. He'll be directing Asylum of the Daleks as well. He might do another episode in Series 7, and then he'll be doing the 50th anniversary special The Day of the Doctor. And following this episode, how brilliantly it looks and how beautiful these plain white or dirty basement sets look like, alongside the beautiful garden sets. I think Nick Curran does a fantastic job in directing this episode, and I think the set designers did a brilliant job with the sets, and those in the visual effects department also made it look really good. All convoluting into a brilliant episode, a brilliant emotional ride of an episode, and a great character piece for the companions. It's nice to have great characters, stories for the companions, especially if it's a story like this where it just takes a moment to get away from a story arc or a bigger event, or just to give them, or just a story to give them time to breathe. Just one episode away from everything to give them a chance to breathe. And I think this is this episode's strongest strength. I was thinking about giving it a 9 at first, but you know what? I've decided to give this a 10 out of 10 because the character drama is so good. So I will be giving The Girl Who Waited a 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is a great episode and a brilliant drama and character piece story for our our companions, and yeah, definitely, and also it tests the faith of the Doctor from Amy and Rory, something that we've seen earlier in the series, and something we're going to be seeing again in the next episode. More on that next time. But yeah, great episode here, and yeah, we need more episodes like this where we just need time to take a break from a big story arc or from the usual adventures, and just have a character-driven story in a more secluded location or setting. And I think this episode works. It might even be quite unique in that case, to be honest. It's quite a unique story. So yeah, this episode is absolutely fantastic. It's not my favourite of the series. I still think The Doctor's Wife and A Good Man Goes to War are the top 2 of the series at this point in time. But prior to the series ranking, this is currently the 3rd best story of the series, in my opinion. And it's a pretty popular story amongst this series. So yeah, there you go. It's definitely doing something right. Well, obviously, it got a 10 out of 10 from me. So yeah, obviously it is. So yeah, The Girl Who Waited, a brilliant story. Okay, next time business is back to usual, for a bit anyway. For the next episode, The God Complex, which has an interesting premise where everyone is trapped in a hotel like place, and in each room is a different fear for different people. And there's a monster on the loose coming after them. When they've seen their fears. So be sure to tune in next time for Series 6, Episode 11, The God Complex. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. This is a very dramatic. There's a few blank white rooms with a couple of sets, and but with a few stuff. Which is some which gets. You don't get many of those stories nowadays. So after all of that, I will be giving The Girl Who Waited. I am going to be giving it a. So The Girl Who Waited from me is getting. So The Girl Who Waited is a 10. Yeah, it's a prick. Okay, next time we're going for business is so. Be sure to